I absolutely love this piece of machinery. This is the Crane 2S. Let's have a quick run through of what you can expect to get in the box and the basics of what it actually does. The accessories in the box are the quick release plate, which can be screwed to the bottom of your camera to allow you to mount it to the gimbal, the camera riser plate, a flex mount mounting plate which clips into place on the gimbal, and this allows your quick release plate with camera attached to be mounted. A tripod which can be screwed onto the bottom and allows the crane to be stood up. 3 18650 batteries and a charger where you can expect to get 12 hours of battery life. A lens support if you have a larger lens to hold it steady. Multiple USB-C cables come in the kit as well, with 3 Allen keys and 3/4 inch screws. This is not a cheap feeling item, and you can tell that immediately when you hold it. It's made out of carbon fibre and it has some weight to it even without the camera attached. There's connectivity in the way of the camera control USB-C port near the top, another 2 USB-C ports which are next to each other, which are for a trans-mount follow focus motor. You don't get one of these in the kit, so you will need to purchase this separately if you want to use this feature. There's a final USB-C port on the handle, and this is the firmware update port. There's 2 1/4 inch holes where you can mount accessories like monitors, microphones or lights, but don't expect to plug these into the handle and get power because it doesn't work. Before we turn on the gimbal, we need to get it initially set up and balanced. Installing the ZY Play app onto our phone is the first thing that we need to do so the Crane 2 can be activated. Then it's time to put the axes in position. If we don't do this, then expect the axis lock message to start going mental and beeping. The first thing we need to do is set the pan axis. We begin by unlocking the axis and moving it so the back of the head is in line with the joystick and the buttons. Lock it in place. Next we need to take the roll axis and unlock it. Lift it up to a 90-degree angle and lock it in place. The last one we need to do is the tilt axis. Unlock it and swing it out so it's hanging down and lock that in place. From this position we can slide the flex mount into place. We need to make sure our camera is balanced on the gimbal, and to do this we need to unlock our tilt axis. You can probably see there the camera is toppling forward. So what we need to do is this little lever, can we see it there? This little lever on the back, we need to unclip that, and this allows your camera to move up and down. And what we want to do is turn the camera backwards. Now the camera's tilted all the way back. This is not what we want. We want it so it kind of stays up in the air, so we can move. So we've moved that forward too far now, so it's toppling forward. So little incremental changes, very small ones, so we're not too far off there. Okay, so it needs to come back a little bit. Okay, that is roughly the right position. So what we'll do is we'll re-lock this clip to hold it in place. If we let go, if it topples really quick like that, we need to start adjusting this side one. So if we unclip that and push it in, this allows your camera to move forwards and backwards. So we've gone a little bit too far back now. Okay, so right about there, it's steady. Okay, roughly there. If we clip that in place, right, that should be the tilt axis sorted. Now we're going to move on to the roll axis, which is this one here, which moves it left and right. So if we unclip there, right, the camera straight away has just toppled over. Once again, not what we want. We want it to be aligned in the centre. So if we unscrew this and we start to move this over, once again, small incremental changes until it's steady. So we're slightly over, only slightly though. Okay, that looks about right to me, so we'll screw this back down. And the final one is your pan axis, which is this one here. So once again, unclip. And to test this one, if we put it in line, you want to move it side to side. And this is not too bad, slightly moved a little bit there. So we'll unscrew. Once again, small incremental changes. Right, so there's very little movement in that now. So that should be a completely balanced gimbal. If we turn on the power to the gimbal as well, this will just line it up for you like that. And there we go, that is properly balanced. When you turn on the gimbal, you will automatically be in PF mode. This mode allows you to pan left and right, but the camera won't tilt up and down. You can manually move it up and down with the use of the joystick. L is for lock mode. This locks all the axes, so your camera will stay in the same place. Once again, you can use the joystick to move it around if you wish. Tapping the M button 3 times enables the POV mode, which is for point of view. This allows you to orbit the camera around in a full 360 degree motion, which is useful if you need the camera hanging down and close to the ground. Tapping the M button 3 times enables Go mode. Go mode is really useful if you need to make fast movements with the camera. For example, if you're trying to film some kind of sport or something with high action and you need to make a lot of quick movements with the camera, then this is the mode that you need. Holding down the button on the front enables F mode, and this is follow mode. So wherever you point the camera, it will follow. So it's pretty much as though you're filming handheld, but with the extra stability and steadiness of the gimbal. Triple pressing the button on the front will activate selfie mode, which is pretty self-explanatory. The final mode is Vortex, which allows your camera to spin a full 360 degrees so you can create some Matrix-like style effects. And double tapping the button on the front will also recenter your camera. And if you need to shoot in portrait mode, then you can do this too, as you can hot swap from the flex mount to the side rail. On the bottom of the flex mount are 3 holes where you can mount a quick release plate, which will allow you to hot swap your camera from the Crane 2S to a tripod and vice versa. This will save you so much time. Don't be concerned about your camera falling out either, because even if you forget to lock it in place, there's another bolt preventing the camera from sliding out. If you've got a camera like the Sony a6400 where the memory card slot is on the bottom, then you will need to unmount the camera from the flex mount, else you won't be able to get your memory card out. If you have a camera where the memory card slot is on the side, then you won't run into this issue. The LCD display is large enough to see clearly the options that you're selecting, and there's some really useful options in here as well, like the auto tune, which will make fine adjustments so everything is stable. There's also a manual setting where you can dial it in yourself. There's a list of camera manufacturers that you can select from, which allows you to control your camera by connecting one of the supply cables from your camera to the control port, but make sure that your camera is supported on the list on the Zhiyun website. You may notice that if you're using the camera with a screen on the back, then this will get blocked by the rear motor, but this can be rectified by unscrewing the motor, pulling out the arm and lowering the motor and screwing it back in. This now allows the rear screen to be completely visible. The ZY Play app allows you to move the head around direct from inside the app. Other features are available like panoramic, time-lapse and trajectory photography, and these allow you to add waypoints and start recording at certain times just so you get the shots that you want. Calibration is also possible direct from the app. Overall, if you're serious about videography, then the Zhiyun Crane 2S is going to be a very wise purchase. It has plenty of modes for whatever your scenario. Is it expensive? Yep, it is. But you are paying for absolute quality with this gimbal.